jealousy star. Everything jealousy. Which kind life be this so? I'm an aquaba mene. Aqua water menya one upa for jojo kujamule. Nuka bakwa menya wanya ya. Hey, dadavie the kawa wo mega value. Bofo bile de fufu dadavile dadavio. Which kind life be this? Which kind life be this so? Hey, jealousy, jealousy, oh. So jealousy every day, everywhere jealousy. Hey. Mon Dieu, comme ça va, mon Dieu, mon Dieu, comme ça va, mon Dieu. See, this food where you chop from out, independent.
Yo, mi da kuna mi afe nukpolao be mi ga ore kapa plemi egba le mi afe Ŋdi Wɔna ji afe ngba TV nya mele toni magbo enya wezodo na mi va egbe to ha ma da kuna mi tohe aba aleke mi ore kapa plemi le mi afe Ŋdi Wɔna me apana mi me kraji be mi kata mi afe moko ke me mi cho le fida varon dia okata o ohenyu venemi kata nkakama ha enyenye mokpokobe anyo nami yo ke gamasube mi agere mi apa wonome nemi jona gomalaka mi ona motivational segment iade nemi cho motivational segment ama mi zona rengo pona nyaka nya dochoto tio yo ke okakare me ya balaoji dia nemi cho afuma mi gana gana to ko kama blogoto akpobe nukawe nyemwiro ke amon funchwe ke ne mi trova ne yili mi ganare nyape enyama jojowo maha ta eyokata gaji gele egbatom donc kujiwe mi apona ikenye Ŋdi Wɔna ejimle abengwa tibiji ikele wotwe le ho afike mile ta nebe asemiankoa alo ne be agere miaji ya cheka kwa plemi alo miakpere yenchile mia yepe ajodo nyaume miakpere yenchile ashicha nyaume nji miakpere nchi labudo nyaume kwela jo nkake la jo ike ne pobe ehia bo do na se pankoko gere miaji wengba TV le multi TV ji mo mianko se le multi TV ji megale Facebook ji india hata nyata gere miaji le Facebook alo be miana mi miape muchocho da pana mi ame kata mi ankosem jo hikao jo benao kata ji yo nyazo rango pata gele me motivational segment me ke motivational message ke mi ashi India the collective yenye there is a purpose for everyone you meet. Some people come into your life to test you, some to teach you, some to use you, and some to bring out the very best in you. So that's our motivational message for today. And I repeat it, I take that again. There is a purpose for everyone you meet. Some people are in your life to test you, some to teach you, some to use you, some to bring out the best in you. So this is anonymous. We are not sure the source, but we have the graphic sometime crawling on the internet, and I think that it's good for us to think about. Amado lemiafu agbema. There's a purpose for everyone we meet. I'm sure make me ma suswara time. I'm make me dog or me uma suswara time dog or maudo. Amado or me ma suba or do me po. Amado le me or fiamin. Amado le me wo azami wala shimianchi ama hole mi afagbame taroji mi kelo shenya bo enwi kele miame nunana ikele miame ntokho kele miama odo dokwe alo ado toy itai amo vana mi afagbame do ta lekeke ha amashame kelo gbame ko enyi ale do tso ife katsacha kpakple ome ta onambe mi ke nye nusɔsrɔ̃ le gbatɔ me nye be ne do go amada amala zã o amala do kpɔ amala du amala ba o enyi do go tso katsacha sia katsacha me kokoko ta ehia be mianɔ ŋdzɔ anɔ ŋku le miaƒe agbewo ŋuti akpɔ be amewo katã le miaƒe agbewo me ye nu kae ta wole miaƒe agbe me ɖo amewo kle miaƒe agbe me ne katã wole miaƒe agbe me ɖo ale ŋku ɖe amewo kle sɔsɔm kpakpli akpɔ be ɖi ame aɖe do ye do kpɔ ame aɖe do ye zama ame aɖe nu kae tututu ye nye taɖodzi mi kle katsatsia ya me ɖo koa wotɔ na ɖɔ ɖaŋ ɖe ɖokuiwo evi ɖe gobi aɖeke ma do tso katsatsia me wotɔ mi wodze bena wɔ nya wo ɖi edzo na tso kama ke ne nane li wodze bena srɔ̃ tsɔ magbɔ sue kava ne adaŋu aɖe li na xɔ tsɔ magbɔ na aye aɖe li na srɔ̃ tsɔ magbɔ ne nane li ke na kpɔ tsɔ magbɔ kpe kava gake ne wogadzɔ hã be eŋuwo me yi nyuie o wogadzɔ hã be eŋuwo sese ma kuxi aɖeke meli o kuxi aɖeke meli o mi ke wodze bena wokɔe be nazɔ ɖe ŋgɔ ki nazɔ ɖe ŋgɔ ale be natu ɖokuiwo ɖo. All right, so I think that is that. Yo mia azɔ ŋgɔ akpɔ be nkawo nye miaƒe nyadzɔdzɔto yiwo ke kaka ɖe yaƒe alɔ dzi ŋdi hã ale be mia akpɔ ɖa ta abe leke mi nyae na mi dze agɔme tso howide.com miayi howide.com miakpɔ nkawo ŋuti amewo ƒom tso ŋdi hã donc dzi be ne nyadzɔdzɔ vava ŋko wo hã ate ŋu ade ŋu miaƒe adzeɖoɖowo me ale be fi nata de ŋu adzeɖoɖo me ye nye nɔmba yi ke le wo TV dzi 0242670773 0242670773 miamewo ke le metatu kɔma mi ƒo ge +233 2426707773 nye numero yi ke dzi miate ŋu ato akɔ atse ekapli le egbetɔ hã me. All right, mia ayi howide.com akpɔ nke le afuma ŋdi hã. And even before that, press statement aɖe I beg your pardon, press statement aɖe edogo tso Ghana Police Service tɔwo gbɔ eɖe hã gadogo tso Ministry Presidential Communications me pressa ɔme eve aɖe dogo tso teƒe ya ta dze be mia awo dɔ tso ŋuti kaba hafi atrɔ ɖe mamlɛawo ŋuti ta mia dze ŋu tso Presidency Communications ma akpɔ gbalẽ kawo kɔ na mi be miakɔ da ɖe yaƒe alɔ dzi ŋdia nuka dzɔdzɔm le miaƒe dukɔ me yi ke dudɔwo ƒo hiã be duwo na se madze ŋu tso Presidency Communications February 20th 2026 February 20th 2026 press statement. The government of Ghana has served the government of Togo with notice of its decision that the maritime boundary between Ghana and Togo be delimited by recourse to international arbitration under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. This follows attempts at negotiating a boundary which have gone This follows attempts at negotiating a boundary which have gone on for the past 8 years but have not resulted in an agreed outcome. Ghana has taken a step in order to avoid an escalation of incidents that have created tensions between some of our institutions and to promote an amicable resolution, thereby contributing to the continued good relations between our two countries. Signed, Felix Owusu-Kwachi, MP, spokesperson of the President and Minister, Government Communications. Pira ko banadele miagbo ike chodu kokola pe nyaudelaga ike kwenye Felix Kwachi Ofosu ekanye sota pe nola echo Lifo ike le Ghana kple Togo dome. Ghana kple Togo ƒe liƒo. Doɖa aɖe dzim le Ghana kple Togotɔwo dome. Bi ɖe kɔ liƒo yi ke nye tsaƒume liƒo. Edzi be yeahe hunyahunya alo gɔmemasemase aɖe tso Ghana kple Togotɔwo dome. Ta edua yi ke nye Ghana dukɔ gbalẽ nam Togo dukɔ be yewo dzi be yewoako yewoƒe ŋgɔmasemase akɔ yi ɖe United Nations alo dukɔ teƒoƒo ƒe nyadrɔƒe. Elabe gbawo tso gbea yewo dzi be yewoaƒo kple Togo dukɔ alo gɔmesese nava fika tututue nye yewoƒe liƒo le atsiaƒu me. Atsiaƒu me liƒoa enye fi ke Ghana meliwo ate ŋu aɖe akpa va se ɖo. Ghana atsiaƒu dzi gbadagbawo ate ŋu azɔ anɔ sentri ɖo. Ke nenema ke Togo tɔƒodelawo, Togo kpadelawo, Togo ƒe meliwo ate azɔ ava ɖo. Ke susume liƒo ke le Ghana kple Togo ƒe tɔdzi liƒo ya ƒe nya gblɔm mi le me. Eƒe nyisɔe nya va ya. Ghana dukɔ kple Togo dukɔ wonɔ nya gblɔm be susume ka yi ke tso mia Ghana kple Togotɔwo dome le atsiaƒua dzi ya yenye ake gɔmesese menɔ vavam o. Ta fifia Ghana dzi be Togo fafa nava yi, medzi be naneke ne va dzɔ ɖe Ghana kple Togotɔwo dome yi ke va he hunyahunya vɛ o. Yewo medzi be dudɔwɔƒewo abe bɔdadzisrafowo, abe tɔƒodelawo, abe gbadagbawo kple kpovitɔwo, abe customtɔwo alo miƒe nyagbalẽlawo ƒe katsatsa yi ke le Ghana kple Togotɔwo dome hunyahunya hem vɛ. Abe ne mekpe de si be fia le Ghana ƒe liƒo se ɖo, fia le Togo ƒe liƒo se ɖoa, Togotɔwo tso be akpa ya yewotɔe, Ghana hã tso be akpa ya le yewotɔe. Evɔ fi ke tututu ƒe nya gblɔm mi la menye anyigba dzi ƒe nya o. Atsiaƒua me. Kpe su be Ghana ƒe meliwo mage ɖe atsiaƒua mea wova gbe efli me yi ke va nɔ masemase hem be tso Ghana kple Togotɔwo dome. Ta pi ɖe kɔa dudɔwɔƒe yi ke kpɔna nya ɖe nyawo dzi gbɔgblɔm be yewotso nya kɔ yi ɖe arbitration. Efia be yewo yina ɖe ʋɔnu. Ghana dukɔ Togo dukɔ kɔm kɔ yi ɖe ʋɔnu. Alebe woge ɖe nya ya me alebe fiatsotso nava. Fi ke tututu míaƒe liƒowo se ɖo le atsiaƒua dzi alo le atsiaƒua mea eme nakɔ ɖe tsyɔta kple susu be hunyahunya aɖeke mava yi dzi le Ghana kpakple Togo dukɔ dome. Ta enye nya gbãtɔ. Menya be mia nɔviwo miakɔ se tso Togo me. Esia yi kple kɔ. Mia nɔviwo sa mia ŋkɔ. Mia nɔviwo do woƒe gbedeasiwo ɖe tso Togo me esia yi. Ta ne ya menye nya ɖeke wonye yi ke ahe tɔtɔtɔ ɖeke vɛ alo ahe masemase aɖeke vɛ ha ɖo. Mi meɖo fi ma yi ke hunyahunya alo gɔme masemase le o. Ke mi miagblɔ pi ɖe koe nye be mi le mɔkpɔkpɔ me be ame yiwo ke gegege nya ya mea anɔ ge ɖe me alebe wotso dzo ɖe gɔmesese nava kple susu be ame aɖeke maga ase vovo. Nenema koe alo aɖaŋuvia koe li mate ŋu aɖo tso enya ya ŋue nyea. Yo gbalẽ aɖe gatso kpovitɔwo ƒe dɔwɔƒea me heva na mi. Gbalẽ aɖe tso kpovitɔwo ƒe dɔwɔƒea me heva na mi. That's another pressure from the Ghana Police Service. Dated 20th February 2026. Police rescue stolen newborn baby and arrest female suspect at Mamprobi. Nyaya enyenyari ke no nyang koshira ke yivaim ke the Mamprobi District Command wishes to update the general public on the earlier press release on the rescue of the stolen newborn baby and the arrest of the accused person, Latifa Salifu. The accused person was arraigned before the court today, Friday, 20th February 2026. The accused person Latifa Salifu was remanded into police custody to reappear before the court on Wednesday, 4th March 2026 to assist ongoing investigations. Meanwhile, the Accra Regional Police Command continues to provide 24-hour security to the staff and management of Mamprobi Polyclinic and its environs. The Accra Regional Police Command assures the general public of its continued commitment to ensuring the safety and protection of persons, especially vulnerable groups. Signed, Juliana Obeng, Superintendent, Head of Public Affairs, Accra Region. Takbiragwa. Mikatabi no nyere fia gbendime jonya amobe ole nyonviare ike nkonye Latifa Salifu ike hopo black togoto ike baifi nkeken virgin le Mamprobi Polyclinic ke afinka ke na wunge kine Friday fida ke bai me na wunwa oklo nyonvie ke Latifa Salifu ko de hong le Mamprobi court ke okle bonwa obiegbe ke bon drola be no gbugbo cho Latifa Salifu ko de pobito ogbo no popokoto abako shira avare jimi gbona pe nkeke nagbe ikanya kuragbe fojimwa ton March kwa nkeke nagbe 4th of March 2026 enye nkeke ke ji watanga ga plo non via kenya fifila alo kwede chibenye fifila Latifa Salifu akowe basusube ngba kuku na ajegome ke le amagba pobito to pana nando katanya ba yo le centre de Mamprobi Police Clinic anche basube amareke mava awo ngbebla klafuma ta dola dono amashame klafuma bajene jame un majeka jarke maiji le yo fa hotel enye enyareka iklafuma. All right, ke nya trabajo ide nya bo nkawe le ho we dey India. Banto ke bomim la fianye doctors face payroll acts over rural posting refusal. Doctors face payroll acts over rural posting refusal. Doctor o yoke odo banova odo la kopwe o me yo gbabe ma kopo mo yo wa de oda le fotu holodum ta gbadashi cho akando minta akando fono tata ma po mi la fwa ni gbom le kiye ko yebe de yo do ba na ba odo la kopo me ina gbe me yo yo nkore gara le fotu holodum. MPP's Cocoa Legacy sparks heated debate. Me kujo pong nkuma ikenye nyandela ne en pipito kale so takbaham ke gbonyare cho koko nyangbe yodu agba gbogbo alo eike yo fajiru va ko va ya efano nyi la koko do fame akayo madida shina koko enye nyaraka le fuma empowering women and youth. Story about statement around Nanoyoka Nyapatu Kopro Professor Nana Jane Opokwa Jimanglo Alafma multi-faith schools foster harmony. Research at the Sane Institute will research at the Okunano Moro Padiva Sukio Kama Hoseji Hosovo Vola Ehena the cow were to Regivina Sukuria, Ghana, Burkina Faso, trading ties. And Haji Mafia, Ghana play Burkina Faso for Kachacha for Tuturo Wana, Ike Eiji, Le Koshiraka, Bai Mata, Mako Minka, Akando for Nyaiko Globa, Bamokom the Pugania, Niajonia Maha. So doctors face payroll acts over rural posting refusal. That's a main story here. Ghana's Health Minister Kwabena Minta Kando has issued a stern warning to newly qualified doctors who have refused postings to rural areas, accept their assignments or risk being removed from the government payroll. The minister made a statement during a working visit to the University of Ghana College of Health Sciences at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, emphasizing the need for equitable healthcare delivery across the country. The minister urged lecturers and medical trainers to encourage newly qualified doctors to accept postings across the country to help address critical staffing gaps in undeserved communities. The warning comes an alarming figure showing that regions in critical need of personnel such as Upper West and Upper East recorded fewer doctors reporting to their designated stations. The minister explained that despite several engagements and clear directives, some newly recruited doctors have failed to report to their assigned duty stations, especially in deprived districts. And I'm quoting him, "I think we must put our heads together to find a solution to the problem." I agree that there are genuine concerns, but our education is highly subsidized, even for fee-paying students, he said. The health minister has given doctors 1 week ultimatum to report to their assigned stations, failing which they will remove from the payroll. The directive is set to take effect from February 28, 2026, as authorities step up monitoring to ensure full compliance. That good as Dr. Minta Akando, for no tatama, the Jamafma, Eva Dogo Pule, Dr. Hello, Suku, Tato Yoke Mona, Bob Yoke Sukuvio, the University of Ghana College of Health Sciences, the Korle Bu Doctor, Don Jipolo, Suku Defer, Allo, her hopper, ye, or ye have a blombe, put it, she bear the na dọkịta ọbụna ire kọpọ duome ụmụrụ na bịa yi tọtọtọ ntu ọvọ yokele Ghana yoke mejugbeji ntu yo hia na dọkịta ọfụnkum enye retoro kpekpe rejefe ejefe ntu jugbe ntu Upper East and Upper West ne yo do dọkịta ọbụna efi ya ụmụrụ na yi na ala be fumo onye kọpọ duo ke ike mfono fia dọkịta o desuku hoge ako gbagba makop mego ehia be kana du komi vire shade na akpo mo le jiduru fe health alo dono jikpo dogo me ayi jiglo be sukuvio ke da suku ha jidudu do jana gbagba bona gbogbo ope sukufio dakpato yo ma woni pe sube wo khafa yo ke o jabono kho ta jirudu pere me shaman chile fo suku de to dokita o pedo jikpona de hata o nyeba jirudu pere onchi de o fo su suku fo suku chi o jikpata no ta kama sube o ho do ayi de aba wo lo ko ho ji a ajibono yi mama no mia o mo ga fa ka na o ka iji global pajinya mi ga pon ka bam leto pajima vua pon ka bam leto enye ka mashame ka yo da do shi na bane ko hojia o yo sam ko ko mo ji mama no mi ga fa to. All right, so MPP's cocoa legacy is another big story here. The minority in parliament has slammed the government's handling of cocoa sector, with spokesperson Kujopon Nkrumah highlighting the contrast between the current administration's actions and the previous government's record. According to him, upon Nkrumah stated that the MPP inherited a $4.7 billion debt, but maintained producer prices during global turndowns, whereas the NDC inherited the lower debt, yet slashed farmer payments. The controversy surrounds the recent reduction in cocoa producer prices, with the minority arguing that the decision is a betrayal of farmers, upon Nkrumah emphasized that the price cut will have devastating effects on farmers. livelihoods, citing a case where a purchasing clerk faced an instant loss of nearly 200,000. The NPPNP recalled that in 2018 to 2019 cocoa season, when global prices fell, but the government at the time maintained and even increased farmer earnings. It questioned the current administration's decision to cut prices, arguing that it undermines trust in government policy and threatens the future of the sector. The debate has reignited campaign promises by the NDC leaders who had promised farmers up to 6,500 per bag, only to reduce it to 2,587. Upon Nkrumah described the move as not reform, but betrayal. The government's justification for the price cut has been met with skepticism, with the ministry pointing to Cote d'Ivoire's decision to maintain its producer price framework despite global market fluctuations. Upon Nkrumah Ikenye MPP to Grogodo Yokele Sao Lakbehama Fola Upon Jo Koko Fashi Yikajiduru Adidi Yaron Kujibe La Kodangon Liome Lepe Akbeve Blave Wa Aneme Du Koklola Ekemichi Afia Maima Ikenya Flaga Cholana Indisi Ocha Kana Kata Grogodo He Dongbene Koko Gwedelobe Nepe Jidudu Ava Koko Kotokureka Anye 6,500 Sidi Akba Ade Platon Akemi no Yefia Mfuma Odi Yashina Koko Be Kotokureka Anye 2,587 Sidi Akba Alofa Aton Blanyi Vondre Me Anye Mgbe Ike Jiru Ado Na Ghana To Deata Opon Nkrumah Jojenya Be Le Akba Yenye na via sheke ke hika kata glogodo Ganya odidi Doza sare va hika kata me Enwomo de demo ha yo madidi Koko kotoko fa shio bereo Ala ba yo kode jibe Eya nye Ndudu chofe alo ndudu ike koko Bedela chona Fosa gbogbo yo ko wana hane koko pa blededa Ma jebe yo didi ashiana Otobo be ashe glogodo no didi hihame Eji global Ivory Coast du koma ha o me didi koko pe ashio ga ke jiru khana de koko kotoku nchi na koko gbedela o me didi Ivory Coast la bopo okode sibe eya won gbedela ha le ta jirudu khogba ma chone du koma jio eji global yo ko va jijia ga gbogbo $4.7 billion enye ga ke Koko board alo koko do fadu gama esugbo san awu gayo ke jidudu agboglombe koko do fadu egba kaka yo makashi koko fe agle koko fe ashincho gai ke je yo khana agle de la onu va koko lo gbo o khino pepe da ni ke jidudu ya wa enye amede dashi is betrayal. Anyamade dashi ke ayiji blobe jiru na dafonye to okpo wobe gashaga ke je be yo khane koko bledelo yo kino pepe yenye nyajojo bevele ke mejoge miana kanyipo. Empower women and youth in West African leadership. Vice President Professor Jane Nana-Obokwa-Agyemang has called for renewed efforts to enhance the participation of women and young people in governance across West Africa, stressing that inclusive leadership is critical to the region's democratic and developmental agenda. She made this appeal at the closing ceremony of the ECOWAS Regional Commission on Political Participation and Leadership of Women and Youth in West Africa held in Accra. Obokwa-Agyemang emphasized that West Africa has adopted key instruments such as the ECOWAS gender policy and the ECOWAS protocol on democracy and good governance to promote democratic inclusion and gender equality. However, She noted that despite these frameworks, women and youth remain significantly underrepresented in political and decision-making spaces across many member states. The vice president highlighted Ghana's efforts referencing the passage of the Affirmative Action Act as a landmark step toward improving women's representation in governance. She pointed out that women currently hold strategic positions across ministerial, parliamentary, judicial, and local government institutions, demonstrating Ghana's commitment to inclusive leadership. Miaƒe dukɔkplɔla Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajima eƒo le kpekpe wɔna tɔxɛ aɖe yi ke yi dzi ne sɔhɛwo kple nyɔnuwo yiwo ke le dɔwɔƒewo ŋu le du dɔwɔƒewo ŋu yi gblɔ be yewo Ghana dukɔ yewo kpe ɖe dzesi be ehiã be wone mɔkpɔkpɔ nyɔnuwo kple sɔhɛwo be woƒe wɔnanowo me le dunyahehe kple dunyagbɔgblɔ me. Eye dzi gblɔ be mía dukɔ ke le ɣedzeƒe kpadzi fia mi katã mi da asi gbalẽ te be mía ne mɔkpɔkpɔ nyɔnuwo be woade suku woawɔ dɔ. Ale be ale ke ko ŋutsuwo hã wonɔna dɔwɔƒewo ŋu nenema ke ko nyɔnuwo hã nanɔ dɔwɔƒewo ŋu ene. Ke dzi gblɔ be ɖe ya ta nyɔnu le sewɔtakpeha me, nyɔnuwo nye ministawo, nyɔnuwo nye dudɔmegã ye ta ye ŋutɔ hã yeva zu dukɔkplɔla ƒe aɖe ŋutɔ. Eye dzi gblɔ be ehiã be dukɔ sia dukɔ yi ke le míaƒe nuto ya mea nane mɔkpɔkpɔ nyɔnuwo be woƒe wɔnawɔ me. Nyɔnuwo katã ne woyi suku abe aleke ŋutsuwo da suku nye ne va ɖo ametsatsa kɔ da ɖe dɔwɔƒe ŋua, nyɔnuwo hã nakpɔ mɔ abe aleke ŋutsuwo kpɔna mɔ pɛpɛpɛ ene. Ye wonye eƒe ŋugbegbe yiwo kɔ wu wɔna yi ke nye kpekpe tɔxɛ ma yi ke nye sɔhɛwo kple nyɔnuwo katã yi ke le West Africa gogodo ƒe takpekpe yi ke yi dzi le eke le kɔsiɖa yi ke yi me ƒe ŋkeke bablia henye be míla gbe dzi. Multi-faith schools foster harmony and understanding. Multi-faith schools foster harmony and understanding. A nationwide study on religious accommodation in senior high schools has revealed a strong preference among students for multi-faith learning environments over single-denomination institutions. The research conducted by Sane Institute found that students in schools with mixed religious populations reported richer social experiences and greater emotional comfort. According to the study, more than 90% of students had friends from different faith backgrounds despite limited knowledge of other religions. This highlights the potential of multi-faith schools to foster social cohesion and peaceful coexistence. However, the study also revealed significant knowledge gaps, with over 80% of students and school authorities reporting little or no knowledge of religions other than their own. Professor John Azuma, Chief Executive Director of Sane Institute, emphasized the need for national guidelines to ensure that religious activities in schools remain respectful and voluntary. And I'm quoting him, "We must ensure that participation in religious activities is voluntary and that no student feels marginalized or traumatized because of their faith," he said. The study's findings have implications for Ghana's education system, particularly in promoting inclusive school cultures that represent diverse religious identities. Hajia Katumi Natogma Atad, Greater Accra Regional Director of Education, commended the research, saying it was essential for guiding policy and ensuring peaceful coexistence in schools. The Methodist Church has also weighed in on the issue, emphasizing its commitment to promoting respect and understanding among students of different faiths. The church noted that its schools have a long history of educating students with diverse backgrounds. And Ghana's education sector grapples with promoting inclusivity. The study's findings underscore the importance of creating environments where students can thrive regardless of their faith. Nkpɔla ŋme kuku aɖe ɖo kpe dzi le kɔsiɖa yi ke yi va yi me be suku yiwo ke nana ablɔ ɖe dzixɔse sia dzixɔse be emeviwo nasubɔ woƒe mawuwoa, wonye suku yiwo ke wɔ nuteƒeawo suku mamlɛawo. Ŋme kuku ya eyi dzi le Sane Institute yiwo ke nye dɔwɔƒe tɔxɛ aɖe ke kpɔna dzixɔse kple dzixɔse ƒe nusɔsrɔ̃ nyawo me le North Legon. Ke Professor Zuma yi ke le dɔwɔƒea ŋu gblɔ be eyiwo ŋmea yiwo ɖo kpe dzi be suku yiwo ke womezina dzixɔse aɖeke ɖe sukuviwo dzi o, enana be sukuviwo tsina le woƒe sɔsrɔ̃ me. Eyi dzi gblɔ be sukuvi 80 le amewo sia awo me yi ke le sukua, wodzena xɔ kple amewo yiwo ke le dzixɔse bubu me. Kaka mefia be wosrɔ̃na ŋu alo sena dzixɔse mawo gɔme hafi dzena xɔlɔ̃ kpli o. Ta ne míane mɔkpɔkpɔ me sia me nasubɔ yewo mawu, ale be vɔvɔ manomi alo dzizisi manomia, enana ge be amewo natsi le susu me, amewo nase nu yiwo ke amewo xɔ dzi se, amewo nase nu yi ke amewo kpɔkpɔm tso woƒe mawuwo ŋu alo ale yi ke wose woƒe dzixɔse gɔme. Dzixɔse kɔnu yiwo ke le xɔse mamlɛawo katã sia eme dzodzo kple eme kuku eyia dzi le suku yawo. Enana be sukuviwo no va dua wonyana nu ka tututu dzixɔ ge wole. Enana be wo ŋutɔwo wɔna tsatsa nyuitɔ. Yi dzi gblɔ be ehiã be le ŋgɔgbe yi mea, me sia me nakpɔ be yedo yevi ɖe suku aɖe yi ke womewɔ se be dzixɔse ya le woa axɔ se alo eya le womaxɔ dzi se o. Ne wodo go sukuwo hã, gɔmesese ma enɔnɔ si, enana be ame aɖeke metsɔna yi kple kpo ɖe nɔvia ŋu alo lãŋu ɖe nɔvia ŋu elabe yiƒe xɔse to vovo ne atɔ. Eya hiã le tomefafa kple ŋgɔ yi le yeƒe dukɔ me. Sane Institute ye wɔ ŋme kuku ma. Ke dziɖuɖu me keke kpɔna suku ƒe nyawo dzi le ge ŋutɔ me yi ke daa nya ŋu nɔ gblɔ be eŋume kuku ya nyo na yewo ale gbegbe la be ahiã be yewo nye miawo kple susu be ne yewo suku ƒe nufiaɖoɖowo wɔma yewo wɔe nenema pɛpɛpɛ be me sia me naxɔ yewo mawo dzi se le ablɔɖe me. Ghana, Burkina Faso strengthen ties with key governments. Ghana, Burkina Faso strengthen ties with key agreements. I beg your pardon. Ghana and Burkina Faso have signed 7 agreements aimed at boosting cooperation in various sectors, including security, transportation, and disaster management. The agreements were signed during the 2-day official visit of Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, to Burkina Faso. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the agreements include the mutual recognition of national driver's licenses, transport and road transit, and framework agreement on cross-border cooperation. Others are the establishment of periodic consultation frameworks between border administration authorities, reaffirmation of the border between the two countries, cooperation on disaster prevention and management, and fighting illicit drug trafficking. The agreements are expected to enhance economic cooperation, promote trade, and improve the overall relationship between the two West African countries. The discussions also focus on security cooperation, with both countries condemning recent terrorist attacks in the sub-region and resolving to design a strengthened bilateral security framework. The importance of security cooperation between the two countries featured prominently in the discussion, said the statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Both countries also agreed to establish a reinforced partnership on disaster prevention, early warning coordination, and crisis response, particularly in the light of recurring humanitarian challenges caused by Bagri Dam spillage. The agreements mark a significant milestone in Ghana's Burkina Faso relations, with both countries committed to deepening their cooperation. The reactivation of the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation, PJCC, is expected to provide a framework for regular dialogue and collaboration. Bila kwa Ghana duko kple Burkina Faso duko wo dashi bala dote le koshia yoke yi vaime. Ke miaƒe dudɔmega ke kpɔna Ghana dukɔ kple eƒe katsatsa kple gbeta dukɔ me ƒe nyawo dzi yi ɖe Burkina Faso. Eyo yiawo di tome be tso gbadze heyina la, eʋuku ɖaseɖigbalẽvi kɔna be license ɖeka anɔ Ghana tɔwo si gake ne wotso yi ɖe Burkina Faso dukɔ ma, Burkina Faso tɔwo na kpedede si be gbalẽ ma ŋusẽ le si le dukɔ ma me. Nenema ke na mla tso Burkina Faso dukɔ me, yo tso Burkina Faso dukɔ ƒe driving license kɔ ve Ghana, Ghana dukɔ na xɔe de me. Kpovitɔ kple míaƒe dɔwɔƒo yi ke kpɔna ʋukunyawo dzi axɔe de me be ame ma exɔ aɖaseɖigbalẽ. Eyi dzi gblɔ nya vovovo be pase alo pass gbalẽ ɖeka ɖa no míasi yi ke ne mi xɔe le Ghana dukɔ ma, atana mi mɔkpɔkpɔ miage ɖe Burkina Faso dukɔ me aku ʋu. Nenema ke na amewo tso Burkina Faso dukɔ me va ɖo míaƒe diawo dzi, gbalẽvi ɖeka yi ke nye gɔmesese ɖeka ɖa no míasi aɖo kpetsikɔtɔe be eʋu yiwo ke tso Burkina Faso dukɔ me ta zɔ le Ghana. Nenema ke tso Ghana dukɔ me ta zɔ le Burkina Faso dukɔ me, abe ame ɖeka wonye afi eʋuwo va tso susume liƒowo kɔ de mía dome. Eyi dzi gblɔ be hiã be míaƒe dedienɔnɔ na ke mí katã ame ɖeka ma tso gbeta dukɔ me alo ame ɖeka ma nye gbadagba vidziwo alo nane ko agble míaƒe katsatsawo dome. Eyi dzi gblɔ be kadodo yi ke le mía dome eye mía vovo ado ŋusẽ kadodoa abe ame ɖeka ma tso dzogbedzi dukɔ ɖeke me ava wɔ nane yi ke agble le mía dome o. Woku dze to abla ko ƒe dɔwɔƒe yi ke nye Ministry of Foreign Affairs ƒe dɔwɔƒe kɔ míaƒe katsatsa kple gbeta dukɔ me ye ko enya kɔ da ɖe dua. Yo míaƒe nukpɔlawo abe Ewenyigba TV ƒe Ŋdi Wɔna yi ke ƒe tadetɔni magbɔe nɔna ye nye ya dzi check akplim le +233 242670073 dzi ale be nade míaƒe adzɔɖoɖo yawo me. Ƒo ganya mi anɔ mɔ kpɔm ne míaƒe nyaŋuɖelawo yiwo ke nye agbonuŋlɔ le nyahawo me ɖeka fia be wɔ ge ɖe mía dzi miadzro nyawo me. Nye ŋutɔ nye tɔni magbɔe akpɔm le Facebook ne ƒo tɔni magbɔe le Facebook acheck akplim míaɖewo dze miadze xɔ abe na aɖaŋu aɖewo li míakɔ ado ŋusẽ wɔna míawoe fa. Nenema ke ne yɔm le +233 242670073 dzia matsoe ale be míaɖo dze aleke mía atseka akpe ɖe mía nɔewo dzi atu edua. Ke ne dzi be míado bubu ne ne dzi be akpe ɖe mía ŋuti le emɔ vovovo ŋuti adɔ le míaƒe wɔna atso ga akɔ de me abe míawo hã míayɔ ŋkɔ ado bubu no ale be asi tsam ne na kpe du ɖoa ke +233 242670073 nye nɔmba yi ke dzi na wo ema le exɔe la dzɔ xɔse ha ŋue ne le o amatsi ne wɔna o. Fi sia fi yi ke ne dzi be míakpe ɖe ƒe ŋkɔ na ɖi le yaʋalawo katã dzia míawoe fa elabe ele bɔtiti Sorengo le nyaƒe kai wore wo TV anjo ba fifi lai
Nunya bagama mayinaude Agbabavi komia fa Nunya bagama me inaude agbebavi ye komia falo mamanye blenam kembo ebejo le bonye ebe vevesese be kameli voadije popo dans l'îlot ebe na tumetidia ba me koelai na home hojwa ama koelam loelo a vivant muona meye betina po jena sumeo agbe nika someye nyalelo Nunya bakama me inaude agbebavi ye komia falo Nunya bakama me inaude agbebavi komia falo mamanye blenan kembwe bejo le bonye ebe vevesese be gameli voadije popo dans l'îlot ebe na tumetidia ba me koelai ne home hojwa ame koelam loelo a vivant muona meye betina ko jena someo agbe nika someye nyalelo Benika someye nyalelo Ewenyigba someye nyalelo Fou pepe va glolo oh e glolo my way is ambalejado aja bagba asikaligbe do afikolea le mia tempolo mi jagole gio mi antominya oh my way mi antominya Eyenti mi regiodo ne mi attende cucunolo Ficole o ma we ficole ma mbe ficole ma fikele o ewe fikele ma we fikele ma adowa me vana fianfito pata trozu pastolo adowa me vana ajeda to pata trozu bokonolo oh mau fikole unu barabara ole joyo jo bonu pomo bola bonu kakani gakemi fikole ma we fikole ma mbe fikole ma fikele ma fikele ma ewe fikele ma
Yo, mi apa nupolau. Apa nami be mi oli claim la mi apa egba apa yang bati bi Ŋdi Wɔna jimada apa nami toke be mi chami aba TV ika yole ndi share ndi anu kachacha pakle mi le mi apa wono kata me doni magbo inya apa dam nami ke makbe dam nami ame o ke mi apa nomba ozam he mjocho do nam me ho kata le ga poponi toma mo kata le ganami donc jiwa atakutoni magboy le Facebook alors a cheka kwa plinfa atem azan +233 242 670 773 acho a cheka kwa plinga kami ga yom ado ga fokanam ke dokumen mi apa dapat susu dapat susu dan apa cucu akoran ko bawo kalaga aku to minute pri ana ganyi na fo ke abalka mi anto menye na ganyi fo ai mi ganare anya jojo ma jojo ma ke mama pomle indi sito plan bibito ke mi apa dunya he hao apa plevao be o abak berenchi ya adro anya ume ke woha adem nyapa ajerom mele jemfuka hostel la ko woto alona va fiko yo na ba ho poli yako na garam ko biya ba jemfuka hostel jinko ofianga mi mele parako mi mele bubu fo arako kana va ku ba pa na be nya de nayo nya we fa ke sole me nyaare ne be a chobyo ashari na be ya abacha klimio obusha bobuke na be nya donai alo dunya hela ina nyo ya dem dunya mo be anote re party alo tikiti jo da kakla na be yawo na tremanchi komi pegre monchu on to be ababa pon tv aji on to be aba pon alo jona boya se konko ha be aji hajela na nyo fofola na nyo adansha da mi kala tamno ikana boba anya tv ji pada anko na gana mi aji mi o mi pegre nchio alawe mia au amedo na bo da kachacha mahianto anamia no kame alawe na nyapo no dojijo no inabe o yakpere mianchi adolo mi alawe mia wona nno akemi ha nyakpere mu ne mio mi yo nko ne mio mi dobubu na to kata wase nko la keke boyare me da nene mai mia jibana na kere miaji alawe nyakboleke yadadawe alawe miawe ne wanyo yo mia zorengo akpo nya jojo kawe ga nya jojo totu yo kaka ne mia pe ya pala ba minoji india alawe nya ide my joy online my joy online apo nyakawe nye aha chi ashishon ojijin ndi ale myjoyonline.com my joy online ha nye mio nya juzo kapa odo motore kai ka won tepe yo Ghana climbs to 8th richest in Africa under Mahama Labor Minister. Big stories there, big banner stories there on myjoyonline.com. Ghana climbs to 8th richest African country under Mahama. Any big banner story le afia ke afuma bakhlia ma atung mamleo chachachako. Police probe violence at Agona Swedru School's athletic games. Special courts will deliver faster, fairer justice, Judicial Secretary. Ghana calls for greater inclusion of women, youth in West Africa. Student injured in clash at Agona Swedru District School athletics games. Okay, and maybe last one. 24-hour economy will be driven by incentives, not compulsion. Guzi Tano. Takbira kwa duko minister. Alo duko kwa parento. Alo bono kaya kebona dola kwa dola nyamji la Ghana kwa kombe fifia. Ghana duko enyilia. Ghana ele enyilia le Afrika duko katame. Duko yo kwenye kashino duko alo chi duko ga duko Ghana le nyi le duko katame le Africa miao shikalau Ghana duko shikalau tefe nyi miele ke povito nkudem anya ore ke jila Agona Swedru kwa suko kwa hobe me kamade hobe me ke poron drop ganfa balajigla ne Ghana kata fon ka globe yo bon drop ye yaro tumbo jo bon drop to yaro o tum ko kwa do na nyaba wo adibla le bon drum araba open chocho alo fia chocho nanye nyatefe ke Ghana wa du kopla pa to jeng fo ejeje mafia here the young person were one and woman never road to Nyaoji. Kasukivi ka hobby like Agona Swedru to Kuvio for Kamada Nyama, he came in Glowai, Kabuzitano Kenya Tomakanka Kona, doors are color for the Roy, Katukolavia, the Tomaragana, 24-hour economy plan. But Blomania Pasta Chogger, Anamo, na outdoor, indoor hill. Bioji Degafono Bawa away. So Ghana climbs to 8th richest in Africa under Mahama Labor Minister. Ghana climbs to 8th richest in Africa under Mahama Labor Minister. The Minister of Labor, Jobs and Employment, Rashid Palpo, has asserted that Ghana's economic position on the continent has strengthened significantly under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama. According to Dr. Palpo, Ghana has moved from the 10th richest country in Africa to the 18th within a year, to the 8th within a year, with the gross domestic product GDP now exceeding 100 billion Ghana cedis. It described the development as evidence of renewed economic direction and stability. All right. Rashid Palpo ikene domaga ke kona nyap du dollar okble do la opo de jeno ji woglombe cha ike yoba sijia ganya ne duko wolia ikenya duko ke shikati onwole akagba ke mi puma Ghana basu duko nyilia chi duko gatuko alobe gross domestic product yenye Ashio kata dokushi chalao doopo kple dziɖuɖu tsa ƒe adzɔdonu ƒe eho glogodo enye 100 billion cedis. 100 billion cedis. Enye eho yiwo ke mi kpɔ tso miaƒe asitsanyawo me abe dokushi tsalao, dɔwɔƒo, dziɖuɖu dɔwɔƒo kple Amerikasi tsalao. Eya ta Ghana le enyilia. Ghana le enyilia le Afrika dukɔ kata ƒe ganyawo me. Alright, mia ayidzi mi gale My Joy Online still. Enyaro le fia makɔ be ma husitano wonya gblɔ ɖi. Matome tsa ha. Nyaro gale fia cha. 24-hour economy will be driven by incentives, not compulsion. Ŋdi Wɔna. Presidential advisor on the government's 24-hour economy, Ŋdi Wɔna, has stated that the policy is intended to motivate businesses to expand production willingly rather than compel them to operate continuously. In an interview on GBC, Mr. Wɔna explained that the government strategy centers on creating favorable economic conditions that make expansion attractive to the private sector. He noted that productivity growth, enhanced industrial capacity, and a supportive investment climate will be critical to the policy's success. He emphasized that businesses make decisions based on economic logic, not directives. It is necessary, I'm quoting him, that an economy is operating at full capacity. Nobody is going to tell industry to do shifts. He said, it is a function of capacity. It is a function of the investment regime and the incentive regime that allow companies to take the decision. And according to him, firms will only increase shifts when the marginal cost of additional production is outweighed by excessive revenue. Companies operate on the marginal. If the marginal cost of hiring more people and producing the next unit of output is less than the marginal revenue, they are not going to do so. So you can't force anybody to do 133. What you need to do is to create an incentive for the environment that allows them to do so. Jiru fe domaga ikedona down ne yapo du corporal 24-hour economy fe nyanchi efe enyale mi agbole fia ke apon le GBC talking point ko sragbe choi ke wai nyayo gbanyi ebe ya gbo mi le be 24-hour economy Ghana du ko 24-hour economy menya pass sengonyo mare ke me pass se chobe abe mare no do 24-hour economy o do 24-hour economy mesha me vanji amana vando barona va fio abe gba ya to me akode jeshi be Ghana du ko abe du ko mare ke me atem avano totem no via be no do indi ndo fio mi ka hianya be ajwa mutara kwe be mtatema lenchi be ya wodo mtatema lenchi be ya wodo hafi ojoje metayo abadu ko na yo magona gogo be 24-hour economy ta pasu be amsham na ano wona mamo ke mi ke hia be mia onye be mia don samo to sube wano 24-hour economy we dodo yate donc jibe Tony McBoy yenya mia plomle apa ingba TV pe Ŋdi Wɔna ji mia adashile city mia adashile joy nchi aide city mia po nukawe nye nya jaja ke domurale city newsroom ndia da mia aide city newsroom alebe mia po nkawe nye nya jaja ke donku le city newsroom mia po nchocho no va vanfa Nchuchu no baba mfa. Le +233 242 670773G. All right. Ghana overpaid 1.5 billion for power. Demands 11% tariff cut. In a lead story, le FIA. Cocoa Board must rationalize staff, not just cut salaries. Cocoa Board must Cocoa Board panyare ke domora jim kosira ke baime ikebe CEO Randy Abing bala ko dare to agbo be yo kenye magao le dowe am yo di to mo be yo di yo ko fotu oji akoto epenya ele nya gbo le fia ke pire kwa ni gromo le nya ba menye domagao amagao yo kele tadene dofa fue fotu di ko hian ke ajebe dolo hona di poto Professor Kote eglonya that Cocoa Board must rationalize staff, not cut salaries. Dolo subokpa evo domelio. Alamo subo dorakangbi wom, alamo gbogbo dorakawom, ajebo gbolan kure nyamanchi. Free SHS in Ghana is Ghana's most significant social policy since 1992. Apenyomaki. Apenyomaki mfom Egbogrombe secondary school de defamache yenye jiru fa duturoro yokowo ikeke mikata le duame mikata le hadome blogodo fa de jenyono apenyo making ye blo nyaya Guzitano 24-hour economy will incentivize, not force businesses. Guzi fanya blo ihaje mafia Guzitano 24-hour economy will incentivize, not force businesses. Guzitano Yeglonya. Ghana now 8th richest in Africa under Mohammed's leadership. Poor Ghana where the ye kala shifia about du kashi galau iha elemia bofia. Ghana now 8th richest in Africa under Mohammed's leadership. Rashid Popo where enyalefia Ghana enye dukoi ke shi gagalau uduko kata to fue nyere miashi Ghana le nyilia na do ho shi wowo alo kashino wowo Public-private partnership key to revival of government industry. Central Tong MP Otoje ikenya Central Tong to so tapame nola apung ewa blombe Jidru dopo fue de kao papele dokushi dopo le avowowo me yehia nemi be dukopo avodopo na gbogbo anu afo ji. Sohum records decline in adolescent pregnancies amid targeted interventions. Lasu untome viji siopo fufofo fenya eforete la gbalame ewo blombe jiru pe do magaro pa foro remole to mame ina be kpende vion ga fufon la suhun tombo ke brebato ke ma akbora le fianye Obrachre Senior High School student hospitalized after assault at district games. Ta Senior High School are Obrachre for Senior High School fanya ike ha chale me pe apology choke weekend ike mamino wasere ba fanya je mafia ke 24 economy achievable with strong demand upon Nkrumah Rombe do indicate fe wona yoke jiru ye be adeto me ko yom 24 economy atem avame ne ashiline maraka mo gbana do ga zama maraka fiase bu ga zama za chipa alo fongli ne won liore ro ke va nwa plomo ta ne Ghana du ko le klalo be yo fo fongli yo fo za klekele ano yina do po ano ashi chankla me ke le do po nko ke efia be mi etapogere 24-hour economy. So big story, lead story kalafia enye Ghana electricity consumers pe enyade ikalafia ta mia agarem bata ke EMSA, Ghanaians overpaid 1.5 billion Ghana cedis for power, demands 11% tariff cut. Ghanaian electricity consumers may have overpaid an estimated 1.5 billion Ghana cedis in the fourth quarter of 2025 due to inflated exchange rate and inflation assumptions used in tariff calculations, according to a policy review by the Ghana Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, CEMSE. The report contends that prevailing economic conditions justify a double-digit reduction in electricity tariffs, potentially about 11% in the first quarter of 2026. Dobareke Ponankure Nyape Yao Pele Nyape Tugbo Dedinono Bobo Glombe Apoke Vaima Gagbagba Pokukyo Yeke Vaiji Kanabakana Sidia Vagbojo Lekeleke Gwagba Anave Ayono Nyape Jokari Pofo Bumnamia Obio Reji Gagade Akefifia Ikonye Ghana Sidia Avansa Pound the Dollar Chico Dogu Bobo Yo Akfung Premier Garve Hemi Miller le nyanya teƒe na ma re xena sidi alofa ɖeka ɖe dzo ŋutia ke dze be de sidi alofa 11 le me sidi 11 le me ke fia be ame yi ke xena alofa ɖeka sidi alofa ɖeka dzi sia dzi ɖe kaɖi nya ŋutia edze be woxe sidi blanyi vɔ asieke ɖe wota nimbe miawo akɔnta nyui ta akɔnta kakpagba ɖe sitini so mafia me nyavio ogere me ʋuu nidzi akɔntanyalawo kple ŋmekulawo ɖo kpedzia ema me gblɔ kpi ɖe ko yenye be ne wobe woagbogbo ade ŋku ga yiwo ke xemi mi le ne míaƒe kaɖiwo zazã koa edze be woɖiɖi dzi na mi woaɖe alofa ɖeka sia alofa ɖeka me woaɖe sidi 11 le me edze be edzo fefe na ɖiɖi ta enya ɖewo nyi ke kokobɔd ƒe nya yi ke Professor Kote gblɔ hã ehiana made ŋkume kpi ɖe ko Kokobɔd must rationalize staff, not just cut salaries. Professor Kote. Economist Professor Peter Kote has called for structural reforms at the Ghana Cocoa Board, cautioning that salary reductions alone will not resolve the institution's financial difficulties. These comments follow a decision by Cocoa Board's senior management to take 20% pay cut, with other management staff accepting a 10% reduction as part of measures to erase the board's mounting financial pressure. So, in an interview, Professor Kote said while the move sends a positive signal, it falls short of addressing deeper inefficiencies within the organization. And I'm quoting Prof. I think the signaling effect is good. That is, you are signaling to farmers, to Ghanaians, to everybody, to the global community, that as managers of the Cocoa Board, you want to take part of the responsibility to address the problem. However, he questioned the real financial impact of the cut by the management of Cocoa Board, and I quote him for the last time. I wish we were told how much that would be. I mean, there's 20% senior management, 10% other management staff. What is the function? How much money are we talking about? How far can this money go? If there are too many staff operating at Cocoa Board, let's do some rationalization, and they can be absorbed or sent to other ministries, department, agencies, where they'll be more useful rather than laying them off because there are no jobs. Professor Kote onyare oblofia siso. Yire ko nyi gbomre yen be yosi enwonye na jiru fo do fe ke kwana fo koko nyaaya ji blobe yo de akpa ole ale senior management staff for toma aba akpa ya alo na do le yo me okenye toma down for toma. Professor Kote be enya se ejabe ojijimbe yo na kokpere jiru pa do hanchi Wangui mama ko enyo be gahoni ni ya. Woni koko ya mole. Ye no pa o le adam la dome. Ye na do ma ga ko do ko twie ko ke o ko fo tu ma ra ton akpara ka chon ko ko ji wa de woni tu ya nya gole. La ya le ko chi wa ko bo ku ke ga dranyo nye. Amusu ba ma do ma pa yo ko mo je bo to. Auto ko ga ino la ba ko wa bla de nya ko ko do pa kata maga afo choma bale ko le chano ta ya ko ko chinwa aje ba wo pun kura shan fa to mo kura ba to ku biya lo sho ma ma kam lo shi do mo lo a wa na wa ba wo to le jiru ko do ko bu ba ministry so plato mo ala ba fuma he wona wo fa fuma wo fa ga ike dumo la do ka ma we a ko vidia va na du ko le ma eji gbo ba ye gbo ba do mo le to kom do bia ko nyasasan ta no den ku do mamle mo prabe fike o hiana mola ha ke amyo ke la ku bo do ba via yo ke bana ko mo tu furu akpama ke nyi ha melan ku re economics ame kumba jiju do ku ke gbo mo la be no chomo choku ku bo do ko arurare enya dia se enya bore wo re o do mo la afojia jiru do ba akpaka to achite kwa munu na no luto ngoro achite kwa munu na jerum dora ka go biara ka mala fmo ha ta kafla jiru do nya to nya garo nya jiru ko do ko yo ko nya ga onye te ko bu ya do yo ke o so ko bla mo bo no yi no ba ho ba la won afi opo fidiaro abe Ghana card abe NHIS abe passport abe license mi o ke do ko yo ke o pona nyape gase di gbana roji yoke owe onye seven gbana ma mo mi so wo to come via makpo bojo apamo ko afri ono na kun ebe fumo ha na ya frontline staff o kun o kwe tem no na pressure te jigere ta do police anji na va ho fian to kana cha ji do ko gara ko te ko no na o te ko mo no na we ta nya prof blo nya re ke na yile ya mia alan kuran ajome albani hanya jasara ka lashin ma biare do ta ko ha ne na no la shwe kan jibe ya biaro ne ya blo fande abire mi alaba mia akora ke fika majibe matoro le okata majuju menye okay nya takakara la fia ambulance service to magara kapon. Oh, we don't carry the dead, we only carry sick and injured people. We don't carry the dead, we only carry sick and injured people. Jirufa dobe kakbona nyafa amokoko donokoko pedukle du akwa konje konya ambulance service donokoko udofa glonyarobe amaromo se fa dogomo ono gbogbomba yo kora makuku makuku kola we yonyo. So the Greater Accra Regional Manager of the National Ambulance Service, Daniel Asare, has clarified the role of ambulance services, stressing that their mandate is strictly to transport the sick and injured, not deceased individuals. And according to him, public misconception dono yao around milk jafoku yao koi na the konjia in ambulance service. Amaro no yo yomba kujore yoji alama kula pumeta na choma abene yo wa makuku fon ko byo mo dema na naga akareji ikele amo shire yo nchana didi bele amagere ika anye tono ma lon bo yo gagere ko gome that emergency medical services yenye tanya yiko chone yoko dopa emergency medical services tono jikbo dopo ike wona nkpata ko chona kpata de dono yo ke anyabatu kliklinchi ye fa do ko yonye ke hezis alo kuku ko bu hon likom onye fu moro boro yo cho ko khara kuku ko ina kote fa uzo na blau ta hez fa do ko lebu ya zo na blau boko e chora mokuku cho fa ko ba ina fa ma ka chona mokuku cho fa ko ma ro yo ko do gba ko dare kakame boko ko ina de ablo me ta fufu tutu la do ho me gano ambulance to yom no ba chomo kukuna yo nyamo ke nyamo kuku cholo ke nglo ambulance re afọ gboji ha be tutu ambulance ara emi anglo hez reji hez enye nko ike tanara sare be dwanenya be gacho ambulance nko akonglo re vuare keji apake de sirikito fidagba me ba da mo kuku cho mochwe akowe dwamo yenye domaga ike kona ambulance services ji fe enya ike wo glo nami ke manotere Suhum records decline. Suhum records decline. Reported Joe Suhum Tome. Ike important human interest record. Makbara Suhum records decline as in adolescent pregnancies amid targeted interventions. Unintended adolescent pregnancies remain a major challenge in many communities across Ghana, particularly in rural areas where poverty and limited access to reproductive health services continue to expose young girls to heightened risk. However, the Suhum municipality in the eastern region is beginning to record a noticeable decline in cases as targeted interventions aimed at addressing the root causes start to yield results. Increasingly, many girls are prioritizing education, personal growth, and future aspirations over activities that could lead to unintended pregnancies. Despite this progress, the challenges confronting girls in Suhum remain significant. Poverty continues to play a central role, with some girls unable to afford basic hygiene products such as sanitary pads, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation. I'm quoting, during your menstruation, the motor rider boys, we go to them and our boyfriends. If you go to your mom, she will insult you. So you have to go to your boyfriend. If you go to your boyfriend's place, they will tell you to come to your room. If you go, he will force you and sleep with you, a 15-year-old girl recounted. Another girl, aged 19, shared a similar experience. It got to a time my mother stopped buying sanitary pads. That was when I was in class 4. Since then, she had not bought any for me, she said. Over the years, such circumstances have resulted in several candidates sitting for the BEC while pregnant. In many cases, the pregnancies were linked to transactional relationships where basic necessities were provided in exchange for sex. Oh, interesting. All right, so Matore Nyamajujome Rafia, Suhum Tom Penya, Mamma, non vie Toroma, Vicio, Catafufuka, Ocho, Suhum Tome, a full match, a full bobio, where Enya, Ella Suhum Tome Pirequa, Makuku, Ropeji were non vi hell, open on Matata Macmom TV OG. O Fufuka, a roho we are ton, a roho we are Decacavasa, we are shake. Anya na na-ekeji le Suhum to amala gbegbe jiru va gere me okuma okpe de shibe afugbi fofo anya na na-eke va jim nkeke o amala gbegbe ala be okpe de shibo yo na be transactional sex ashicha gbododo ike anya namga ne ma adogbo namga ne ma dogbo alo choganam nena dogbonye ikenye ashijagbododo na ena number pendevi wa fufom keke o male gbegbe o kunme ke de jare ko fobia to gbogbo me yo do shanyi kra yo dada ogbo no na yo ga yo plug bele ko jare ko gba o na khara lo yo gbo ta la shido do ma yo nya ba yo to na ne adoka me giara fi aire to ma yo wa ina yo va hia bi ogbo no pero nchi plaga ne yo gbo na yo ba yo never get a home, never home, Patimo Bao, Magano Patamo, Hogama, never Hogama, or a gap passes Adobo, Atanaga. And now a fufu can your food be for allo, Vimachi for fufu, Jim, Alabella, Suhum Tome. A mamma tora for more. At the hard blobber, a who a powu ike class 4. Allo, Sukuho, and I'm a equi, that blobber, you make a ganake. Totone do shanyo ta mutukuvio yoke le mtoma o eva janya pli o eno pepene yenchi plaga ta Reke na hawe no na ga ha na sherom kishino eji elevu ye bazo fugbi cho fugbi fola ta jiru fe do pare ku mala jama he do pe jibe ne jilo wata aro mo ve ya po yo ji akpero pe o nchile nha hiao nanao me tototo no shido manyi pleto he awo ana le bi opo mo na ja ko ni alebo no pome o ma no chacham awanu gbododo chom azuachi ano chachamo ta ango meshi chacha ye nye ni ke ba he fugbi fofo ve le suhun tome ke miame ke le hun to mafia amugan to mafia mi ta socho ko le pie mi po mi avioji mi le fore mi avio ji poponchi alebo o mo agabai broka agbodomo yo toni magbod enya akplomi le wono pa ma khodomo juju ya reko na mawovo afọ mamle ke le wana delega mana mianya magbona kire
punya motole khavi melagba fukba mula na makbola moji na ba madi chava obo o malona na mo de o ta kwenya ba ma va jogade le yegosi o ta kwenya ba ma va khonu dudu le obola fuwa mewo ne poma bada batoye ma va o susuba ma jise mi jade no kukumula na mauleko ya kama dunu ma tu khofela ma no amasi do panya we sao fuwa mewo ne poma bada batoye fuwa mewo la ne poma bada batoye manya fuwa mena ne poma bada batoye punya motoli khafi melagba fukba mule na makbola moji na ba madi chava wobo o malona na mo krola o ta kwenya ba ma va jogade le yeosi o ta kwenya ba ma va khonu dudu le obola fuwa mena ne poma bada batoye ma va o susuba ma jimze mi jade no kukumula na moliko ya kama dunu ma tu khofa ma no amasi do panya we sao fuwa me wonla ne poma bada batoye ma va o susuba ma jise mi jade no kukumuse na moliko ya kama dunu ma tu khofa ma no amasi do panya we sao fuwa me wonla ne poma bada batoye fuwa me nala ne poma bada batoye manya fuwa me na ne poma bada batoye fuwa me won ne poma bada batoye manya sewa fuwa me na ne poma bada batoye fuwa me wonla ne poma bada batoye manyela fuwa me ne poma bada batoye fuwa me nala ne poma bada batoye manya abla fuwa me ne poma bada batoye Fua me la nek po ma bada ba te menya. Fua me na nek po ma bada ba toi. Fua me nek po ma bada ba te menya la. Fua me na nek po ma bada ba toi. Punya mentoli khafi melak befuk bermula nama pola moji na bermadi cava obo omalona namo de otakwenya ba mava khogade le yegosi otakwenya ba mava khonundudu le obola Fua me nek po ma bada ba toi. Ma va o susuba ma ji se mi jade no kukumula. Na mauliko nya kama du no ma tu khofela. Ma no amasi do banya we sao. Fua me nek po ma bada ba toi. Fua me la nek po ma bada ba te menya. Fua me na nek po ma bada ba toi. Punya mentoli khafi melak befuk bermulia nama pola moji na bermadi cava obo Omalona namo krola Otakwenya ba mava khogade le yeosi Otakwenya ba mava khonundudu le obola Fua me na nek po ma bada ba toi Mava osusu ba ma jimze mi jade no kukumula Na mauliko ya kama du no ma tu khofa Mama no amasi do penya we sao Fua me la nek po ma bada ba toi Ma va o susuba ma ji se mi jade no kukumuse Na mauliko ya kama du no ma tu khofa Mama no amasi do penya we sao Fua me la nek po ma bada ba toi Fua me na la nek po ma bada ba toi menya Fua me na nek po ma bada ba toi Fua me nek po ma bada ba toi menya sewa Fua me na nek po ma bada ba toi Fua me la nek po ma bada ba toi menya la Fua me nek po ma bada ba toi Fua me na la nek po ma bada ba toi menya abla Fua me
Yo miaƒe nukpɔla me da kpena mi va xodo ŋutsukpima ale be miatrɔ wɔ asitsɔtsɔ ɖeka va alo abe miatsɔ gbeƒe wɔna awu nu kuxe alo va da afɔ tam na mi yi ke na be megate ŋu wɔna dzi ge le egbatɔ kpa ke matsɔ mɔnukpɔkpɔ ada kpe ne amewo katã ke de miaƒe adzeɖoɖo me da kpe ne davi edo yi ke se miaŋkɔ tso aƒlawo me da kpe ne Mary tso Adenta me da kpe ne agbeno yi ke se miaŋkɔ tso Bentota esia yi me da kpe ne ame yiwo ke nɔ megbe ne wɔna hã ale be wɔna dze fiawo to edze gawo to mia nɔviwo ɖeka va ɖo yiwo ke do message ɖam enye tesi do message ɖam tso Lashibi ebe good job keep it up. Yeah, test per message ma. Dog began volta nas do message nam cho akachi be mianko so cho akachi loud and clear akpanami. Ruth esemianko cho ATU Ho Technical University le fia akpano que cho que Togo me imano kosi do message ram imano kosi do message ram be mian esemianko cho que Togo me jo fonya imano kosi me dakpano abaleke na do wo gbedashi madam chokeke Togome ine mazema popoya abe achoto indine miape pola ka Robert akakpo ya semia kocho keke hokwe Robert akakpo ke patience ahunjo ya adugbedachiram cho adaklu ke cho yege le Togome miape pola ka kuma cho yege la que Togo me ha do message na mo mi kata na vocalo bendo na mo son yeko ni chona me da pana mi abale ke mi o da ka pa pemle agbatom ma cho mo papa da pana pata da poliama asenyanko favor semyapanko cho ho isi ya pa message so kata ba message pa kanto ni drama yo ka ba da mi pa motivational segment yo na mawe ngagake echo gandra magami agbonoge toni magbo enya promi ngekame nenyonami dakbe nenye do hachi kata na komple kingdom yami kata premchi albe yakbo fu no matato kata waromo bo fine kama nenyonami kata bye bye.
Hier qu'attend la vigie, et la vigie. Fou pepe va glolo, oh, et glolo. Ma way is balejado. Aja gbagba asikaligbe do afikolea le mia tempolo